designing the concrete components. The codes included in RCDC currently are Indian Code, American Code, Euro Code, and New Indian Seismic Code also. British Code also is included. What all is extracted from your analysis file, whether it is from STAD or from ETAB, your member and node geometry, the properties which you have given, as well as the orientation, that is beta angle if you have input, it will also be extracted. Entire model geometry, including section properties and other properties such as offsets or releases if you have assigned, or any other specifications. All basic load cases, definitions like wind definition, seismic definition, and the load combinations also. Member analysis forces after these combinations, whatever combination load cases you have already input in your STAD file, those are also extracted. What all RCDC can design and deliver? Currently, it can design pile caps, footings, regular footings, isolated as well as eccentric, columns, pedestals and shear walls, beams and slabs. We'll see each component one by one. When you run the analysis file in the workflow table, at the end you will see an icon of advanced concrete design. You have to click that to go to RCDC or the design mode. Otherwise, you can see this RCDC icon on your desktop also. When you install Connect Edition, this advanced concrete design automatically gets installed and the icon appears on your desktop. So you have to click that. You get next screen, which you have to input the project details, your project, client name, engineer, whatever details you want for your future reference, you can input that. Design code which you want to select has to be IS 456 plus 13920 or 2016 or 1993. Can use, though you have analyzed the basic file in whichever code, you can do the design by 1993 or 2016. Afterwards, you can see the input file path which you have selected, and you have to select the element which you want to design. You cannot, like in STAD, you cannot design beams, columns, footings at one go. You have to select each element separately, and separate analysis files are created. If we select pile cap, what all the next screen will appear, the input from the file, STAD file, is already read. The analysis number, like the node number, which is already there in the STAD, that will be reflected. RCDC will give the column numbers to those numbers, node numbers which are there in STAD. You can have two sequences of column numbers from bottom to top or top to bottom, depending upon your preferences. Column size in the model is already read. General settings. In general settings, you have to give basic your preferred configuration. Like either you can give number of piles or you can give pile diameter. Permissible pile numbers is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Though all the numbers are given, if you select a single pile, pile cap will be designed as only for the axial loads and not for moments. If you are selecting two number of piles, pile cap will be designed for axial load plus uniaxial moment, and three piles onward, it will be designed for biaxial moment as well as axial load. In another thing is design option. You want to specify any factor for the capacity by default, then you can specify it. Capacity design, you have to check and then specify the factor for which you want to design. Then pile capacity reduction as per the code. If you want to reduce the capacity, you can reduce it for your, that can be called as another factor of safety. Next is pile overloading. Single pile can be overloaded or a group of piles also. Some overloading is possible as per each codal norms. As per our code, we can overload up to 10%. Then comes the pile numbering. If you are choosing group of piles, continuous or column wise, then the pile numbers can be continuous, or for each column there will be 3 numbers or 4 numbers, and then the pile number will go on. Design parameters. Here you can choose concrete grade, steel grade, cover, top, bottom and side, all covers you can choose. Pile cap offset. This offset is from the pile diameter. Then pile spacing. Generally, as per our code, it is 2.5 times diameter. Then live load reduction, if you are anything applying as per the code. Capacity increase due to earthquake or wind as per the codal provision. If you want to allow, if you don't want to allow, you can type 0% there. Soil density, founding depth, minimum depth of pile cap, what you want for design, that you can input. And TC thickness and offset are for the drawing purpose. If you, these will be used in the drawing part. Next is reinforcement settings. Reinforcement settings, you can provide the minimum and maximum ratios or the spacings, whether you want to provide the bundled bars, minimum diameter of the steel, shear, as well as side reinforcement. Detailing and drawing settings. Here you have to mention what all details you want in your drawing. Hooks and bends, L, overlaps, everything you can mention it here. As well as you can mention the pile cap level from the GL, so that in drawing it can be reflected. Also, you have a choice of scale in drawing, 1:25, 1:50, or 1:100. Crack width settings. These crack width settings will be common for all pile cap, beam, column, as footing also, slab also. You can choose this permissible crack width. This will be as per IS 256. And thermal cracking, for some of the structures it is also important. So that input also you can mention. Next is pile capacity. This pile capacity you have to input initially. Whatever number of pile diameter you want to check for, you can input the diameter and compressive tension and shear capacity of each pile, and according to this capacity, the program will calculate the number of piles, whether it is sufficient or not sufficient. Otherwise, it will give the warning as fail. Next is load cases. Load cases already are taken from STAT file, but load type you have to input. Load type for earthquake cases, dead load, live load, roof live, wind, all load types are input in the RCDC. You can do that. If you want to sum up all the dead loads and all the live loads, you also can add up to that. These combinations, you have two choices in this. Either you can have the combinations from your analysis file. You can say add from analysis, or RCDC has inbuilt auto load combinations. That is for regular structure as well as irregular structure. What's the difference between combinations? For irregular structure, you will have a combination of 100% seismic load in one direction and 30% in the other two directions. If you have mentioned all the three directions. Next is design of pile cap. When we go on designing, the general configuration, pile configuration is shown. If you want to change that configuration, you can always double click on that, and you'll get a screen showing reconfigure piles. You can change to additional number of piles. The number of piles 3 will be minimum, whatever you have previously chosen. And accordingly, the pile cap, here I have specifically shown all number of groups, showing 3 piles, 4 piles, 5 and 6. What to in the output file? Whatever you have given, you will get a proper schedule of your pile cap, the reinforcement. If stirrups are needed, stirrups also will be present. A very good feature of this is also give pile center lines, because initially the piles have to be drawn. So pile center to center distances are easily marked here, and that can be used. All these drawing files you get are in a DXF format, which you can open in your any local softwares, including AutoCAD. As per the configuration, you will get a detailed plan and a detailed section showing the reinforcement along each direction. You can get the section along 2 directions or 3 directions also. Design calculations. We have to provide design calculation. In all the in STAD also, we are getting direct outputs. Analysis forces are there, and directly from that, the required reinforcement is there. But in RCDC, we are getting detailed design calculation for each element, which can be submitted. The calculations you can have in a summary sort of thing, or in a detailed report, where you can check them each and every step as we used to do manually on paper. Likewise, this can be done. This also is a very good feature of RCDC, POQ. Otherwise, we have it takes a lot of time actually to find out the detailed quantities and the BBS. So CDC is calculating the concrete required, reinforcement required, also diameter wise it is PCC and excavation also. If you put up your DSR costing values, you can easily calculate the total cost of that element to get the initial idea. Also, detailed BOQ. BOQ for all the elements is given in 3 formats. First is direct summary, which will give you total quantities. Next is your reinforcement type wise, diameter wise, type wise quantity, and next is diameter wise quantity. So sometimes we need diameter wise quantity for your procurement, and type wise quantity is always required for estimation or TS purpose. So both are, and all these reports can be taken into Excel sheet, directly copied, or if you want it in text format, it also can be exported in text format. Next is footings, design of footings. In footings, again, general settings, you have to specify SBC. One number which I have shown, here it is written use gross SBC. Means overburden soil pressure, overburden soil weight will be considered whenever you are using gross SBC. Otherwise, net SBC, two numbers. Net SBC is the one which is you get from your geotechnical report or from the analysis. Which checks you can take? Buoyancy, sliding, overturning. All these checks you can take. You can give a surcharge load also. So if there is any, provide top steel. Generally, as per our code, when the footing depth increases after 1 meter, that time we have to provide a minimum of 360 mm square on each face of the footing, that is top as well as side. But if you have any other criteria, like after 750 or 800 mm depth, if you want to provide a top steel, then you can specify it here. Provide top steel for footing depth greater than 800 or 600. You can mention as per your assumptions. Next, you also can specify varying SBC for some of the buildings where we are having large footprint and a varying strata. Varying SBC can be done or input in the file. Soil density, founding depth, and water table. If you want to check for buoyancy, you have to input the water table depth also. Then you have to check for average pressure or maximum pressure. Generally, you should go for maximum pressure, but some designers prefer to go for average pressure. Permissible loss of contact. For buildings, permissible loss of contact is 0%. We don't allow any tension in our footings, but some of the other codes allow up to 20%. So for that, this feature is there. But for if you are designing as per Indian code, the loss of contact has to be 0%. Here also concrete grade, steel grade, you can input clear cover. This clear cover is always up to main reinforcement. Live load reduction. Live load reduction clause we have in IS 456. If you want to apply that, you can do that for footing design. Otherwise, input at 0%. Then type of soil. as defined in our seismic code. You can say hard, medium, or soft. SBC increase as per our code, you can give as 25% is the maximum. If you can, if you don't want to increase that much, you can input the value lower than 25%, not more than 25%. This PCC thickness and offset is again for the detailing purpose. It has nothing to do with the design. Then dimensional settings, plan round off and depth round off. You don't want your footing to be one footing 1200, next is 1250, next is 1300. Centering contractor will die if you are going to give too many sizes for the footings. So you can round up the footings in the 250 or 200. Maximum is 200 actually here. So that limit round off you can use, or 100 or 150 interval, whatever interval you want it. But don't use too many sizes, otherwise it will be difficult on site. Depth round off also you can choose 25, 50 or whatever. Then if you are having stepped footing, you are choosing stepped footing, then minimum number of steps you have to give, and minimum depth of each step, and minimum depth of total footing also you have to input. Next is plan limits. Actually, if one of your footing is a corner footing, or it is at the boundary of your plot, and if you want it to be eccentric, you can specify the limits in the X direction or in the Y direction. It is better to specify them in a global direction instead of local direction. Next is reinforcement settings. Here also you can choose minimum, maximum percentage. Side face reinforcement also you can choose minimum, maximum. Bottom steel generally should not be less than 10 mm. And side face reinforcement, you can impose the maximum diameter also for that. If you don't want your diameter more than 16 mm, then accordingly the size or depth will be increased, and you can restrict the diameter. Here detailing and drawing settings. Here also vertical leg and vertical leg distance for top steel as well as bottom steel, you can directly give the dimension, or you can give a factor of d/2 or d/4. You can give a overlap distance. If you want to overlap the top and bottom reinforcement legs, you can give a overlap distance also. Elevation level, that is reference level from the story, you'll have to specify. Once you design, give the design command, a design output table is generated, which you can directly copy and paste in Excel, as well as plan shows the actual sizes. From there, you can easily point out if any footings are getting overlapped and if they need a combined footing. Presently, combined footing is not designed in RCDC. You'll have to design it in either STAAD.Pro Foundation Advanced or your any other software. After designing, you can group the footings, but you cannot group if sometimes I'm having column size of 400 by 600 as well as 300 by 600. Both the footing sizes are same, but column sizes are different. If the column sizes are different, footings cannot be grouped even if they are of the same size. So for same column sizes, the footings can be grouped. After the grouping of footings and detailed design, you can have a footing layout plan in which your grids are shown. You can use it as a centerline plan if your input is correct, and all the dimensions can be seen in the plan. Detailed plan of individual footing and section also is generated. Bar bending schedule. Bar bending schedule can be extracted in two formats. Either you can have AutoCAD file for that, or you can have Excel file for that. The bar bending schedule also can be extracted in Excel file. So directly you can cross verify the quantities. In other output of footing, pressure check. If for many of the wetting purposes, you have to give the calculation. So pressure check results also are mentioned. The highest and lowest pressure is highlighted in the output file. All these text reports are printed or can be printed in Excel also. Here also you are getting BOQ, where concrete, steel, as well as excavation shuttering quantities are there. Also consumption, like concrete to steel to concrete ratio, kg per cubic meter. That is very much important nowadays to assess the total feasibility of the project. So that can be taken. Detailed reinforcement wise quantity, here PCC and excavation detail BOQ, and as well as backfilling also quantity is there. Depending upon the level of foundation you have already input, so backfilling quantity is calculated. Next come design of columns and shear walls. Sorry, I'm going too fast, I know that, but I have to cover all the elements in an hour, so I'm just rushing through. Next is design of columns, pedestals, as well as shear walls. When you get the analysis file and it is read, you get 5 types of input. First is column reference. That is, all columns are labeled either top to bottom or bottom to top. Then column size also gets extracted from your analysis engine. Level data, like floor levels, whatever floor, though you have given a rigid diaphragm or not given, RCDC automatically detects each floor level and shows you the level data. Next is shift of CG. If any offset you want to have, you can specify it here. Here, there is no shift of CG, so we are seeing 0 values. But if there is, sorry. Sorry for that. Next good thing is framing type. Are 1893 and 1392 13920 has allowed us to choose lateral load resisting frames, which STAAD. But here in RCDC, you can easily choose which columns to be designed as gravity columns and which columns to be designed as lateral load resisting columns. All the clauses of gravity columns will be then applied to that as per 13920, and you have the facility to design it. Otherwise, non-ductile columns. Some columns may be only for the elevation purpose, or nowadays floating columns is a very problematic issue. So at that time, you can choose this option of non-ductile or gravity columns. Generally available shapes of columns in STAAD is rectangular, circular, T and L. But here in RCDC, you have many shapes like C shape, I shape, oval, hexagonal, T, L, and also any irregular shape like if the building is circular or hexagonal, and for the corner column you are having some varied shape, some skew angle is there, and you want to provide a column in that shape, you can directly draw it and RCDC will design. RCDC has customized all PM curves, interaction curves for each shape, and they can be easily designed as well as detailed. In general settings of columns, you have a choice of perform ductile designing or do not perform ductile designing. Response reduction factor, here you have to input. If you are providing ductile designing and all of the shear walls are there, according to the code, you may provide 4 or 4.5 response reduction factor. Next is joint check. Joint check has to be taken for the maximum load or for all the load combination. That is your choice. You can choose any of the given choice. Minimum eccentricity check. As per the code, if you want to take it at one axis at a time or simultaneously, RCDC has the capacity to do both. Crack width, the same crack width, if you want to check for some structures, you can do that. Shear wall, by definition, by the definition of our code, D by B ratio greater than 4, then you have to design as shear wall. But if you want to detail something as a wall or column, you have a choice from 2.5 D by B to 4. You can decide whether you want to detail it as a column or a wall. In next design settings, material properties. Already you must have input the material properties in STAAD. But if you want any other grade, if that grade of concrete or grade of steel doesn't seem to be sufficient, you can choose from a list of materials already available with RCDC, and you can design as per that material. Live load reduction, as per our IS 875 part 2, live load reduction is possible. So for each story, how much reduction you can do by default is taken by RCDC. But if you want to lessen that, you can do. Here 40% reduction is the maximum allowed by our code. If you will specify 50 or 60, it will not take. Whatever allowed by code, you can take lower than that, but not more than that. Next, this live load reduction for each column can be seen then column wise and level wise in your input data. Effective length factor. I hope all of you are aware of our appendix in the code of IS 456, where we calculate the effective length factor for each column depending upon the support conditions and restraints. So the automatically RCDC is taking the effective length factor in each of the major axis and minor axis. But if you want it to be fixed, like fixed to 0.8 or 0.85, you have the option of that. Otherwise, you can set the limits, like minimum effective length 0.85 or 0.75, whatever you feel, and maximum you can restrict. Sometimes here for staircase columns or the columns which have mezzanines or intermediate levels, for those columns we get a effective length factor of 5 or 6. If you want to restrict it to story height, you can accordingly choose the maximum limit. Design of pedestal. If you are having a steel plant building where no concrete columns are there, but you want a pedestal for that, that also is designed. This pedestal data option will be highlighted only when your total structure is of steel. At that time, this pedestal data option will be highlighted and you can input the data, like you must be having some I column or double channel. So offsets from that member to the base plate and offset of base plate till the pedestal, and how much height of pedestal you want, that also you can input. After these inputs, when you run the analysis, run the auto design, you get some red and green sizes. Green is your design as is sufficient, and red is it doesn't suffice. It fails in some or the other check. You can go to failure diagnostics and check for which condition the column fails, whether it is failing in joint check, shear, flexure, and accordingly you can redesign those sections. You have an option of redesigning. In redesigning, you can have three options. Either you can design only level, like bottom two levels are failing, so only bottom two levels you can redesign, or redesign column. When you choose, you can select all of the sizes at all stories, and you can redefine those sizes as well as material properties. And if you choose redesign section, that means a column only in one story has to be designed, and there you can detail it as per the arrangement, or you can bundle the bars, you can have various combinations and check whether your modified design suffice or not. This is a very interactive process, very interesting, and you can you have a availability of diameter and arrangement of bars. Next is when you design and you want to check whatever is the interaction ratio, you can have quick section, like you can have the detailed drawing of that. You can write it on the design table and you can get quick section as well as interaction surface. Generally, we are all aware of SP16, where PM interaction charts are there, which we all have used for column designs. Here 3D surface, yes, PM curve is generated and the capacity is calculated for all load combinations. For each separate load combination, you will get the axial capacity as well as flexure capacity and the combined interaction ratio. So you can check that with your modified design. Then link arrangement. Ductile links can be arranged in many fashions. Either you can have a master link and closed hoops in between. You can have cross ties. You can have triangular stirrups for the end members. So this link arrangement is adjustable, and when you select edit link arrangement, you can modify it as per your convenience. Generally, due to ductile links, there is too much congestion at the joint region. So at that time, you can have a practical aspect and arrange the links accordingly. Also, the longitudinal reinforcement in wall or column is customizable. Whether you want a zonal arrangement will need about 2 boundary elements at end, and in between you can have a lesser configuration as per the code, 0.25% or like that. So you can choose that, or you can choose equally spaced bars. Sometimes if you are having obligatory sizes, you may have to use bundled bars. So how many bars you can bundle? Maximum number is 4. 4, 3, 2 or single bar. And also the inside grid you can see, you can provide the reinforcement in the internal grid also. Sometimes we are having some box type section. That time this arrangement can be used. After the design of columns, here also you get detail elevation showing laps, staggered laps, as you can see. Detail section at each level. If you are going to reduce the reinforcement, then for each level, the reinforcement details will be different. And for each level, the section will be different. So all section, elevation, starter bars, everything you can get in the output file with only a click. Again, design calculations. If you want detailed calculation like analysis results, then moments due to minimum eccentricity, moment due to slenderness, if any, and the final design moments and capacity of the section, everything can be taken in your output file. Also, the summary of the output is present, which you can easily take the printouts. BOQ for column. Many of our government organizations need the quantity level wise, so that for each level the DSR rate is different. So at that time, level wise, bar wise, diameter wise, here you can see C1 and next column is level. For each level, the quantity of concrete as well as steel is specified, and you can directly input in your various softwares or Excel sheets to do the final estimation. Bar bending schedule for column, hooks, bends, as well as laps, everything is calculated. All the details. I know this might be very micro and you cannot see it, just because I have to fit it in the PowerPoint presentation. Font size or the diameter might be text might be very small, but it's an AutoCAD file, it's a DXF file. You can easily export and take the printouts, and it is very much customizable. It has all the layers of bar, diameter, separate layer of reinforcement, separate layer of column, separate layer for text, and you can fit it in your layouts or drawing sheets. Next is design of beams. When you select beam, you see many levels out here. If your structure is symmetrical, like for residential buildings, for odd floors and for even floors, the beam configuration or beam layout is same. So at that time, you can select multiple levels at one go and design them simultaneously. But if your beam configuration at each level is different, you have to design each level separately. So if you have 10 levels and if they are similar, five similar in the only in two design configurations, you can design all the beams. But if you are having some variation in beam layouts at each floor, then you'll have to run this 10 times. But it is worth, because after this, you can directly have the schedule as well as quantity part for the preliminary estimation. The continuity is automatically detected from the analysis. Like the beams in a single frame are taken as continuous, they have been grouped. The length of the beam is mentioned. Next, the STAAD analysis number of the beam is mentioned. If you want to design the beams as flange beams or T beams or L beams, you'll have to specify depth of flange. Here in beam continuum, you can see a continuous beam. You can see the columns in between, like it is like a drawing only. From one column, whichever beam number is given in between, and below the beam number written are the STAAD member numbers. So you can check this continuum. If it is okay with you, you can continue. Otherwise, you can split the beams at column at start or end. That is up to you. Next, in general settings, you can choose to ignore torsion up to some limit, very less. By default, all the beams are designed for torsion also, but a very negligible torsion like 0.1 or 0.2 kilonewton meter, which comes due to monolithic construction or fixity, partial fixity at the ends. That torsion, if you want to neglect, you can do that. Next is ductile design. Whether you want a ductile design only in the joint region at support in the yield portion, or at all sections, that is up to you. So you can choose that. Then flanged beams, whether you want to design all the beams as flanged or only the secondary beams as flanged beams. Why here secondary only? Because though T beams or L beams at the support, they are treated as rectangular only for the shear checks. So the option of secondary only or all beams is mentioned here. Next is bending and axial force design. For our beam in 13920, axial force is limited to 0.08 FCK. So that check, if you want to take, you have to take actually for all the buildings. But that for that check, you have to mention the like your mainframe beams, or for secondary beams also, if you want to check the actual, then you can specify it as all beams. Then minimum eccentricity, ignore moments along width. That is, it's a tertiary moment. If you want to ignore that, you can ignore that, because our beams are laterally slabs or some pergolas or something. Then design type, whether you want a combined action or interaction principle, that can also be chosen. Then material properties. Sorry. Here also you can choose material properties from the already available material list, and you can choose the cover. Rebar settings. Though main steel rebar here is given as 8 mm, we generally do not go below 12 mm. So two 12 mm bars are compulsory as per our code at top and bottom. And whatever extra you need, you can add up to that. So here minimum diameter you can specify as 12. Maximum diameter you can specify 32, but RCDC generally takes the column width as the criteria. Like in the new code, you have 20 times the diameter of bar criteria for the column width. If your support column is of 400, RCDC will not allow you to use a bar of 25 or 32 mm. It will add up number of levels at which you can have the required AST, like maximum 20, and it will go on increasing the number of layers of the reinforcement, but it will not increase the diameter. RCDC is assuming that in the initial analysis of STAAD, you have already fixed all the checks and taken the column size, and column size is fixed, and now I have to check the beam reinforcement according to that. If my column size is 300, the bar diameter cannot go beyond 16. If it is 230, bar diameter cannot go beyond 12 mm. So many a times you may see a warning in the output file that beam fails in detailing, not in bending, not in flexure, but in detailing. At that time, the number of layers required may increase up to 4 or 5 levels for accommodating required area of steel. So you should have the approach that column, if it is 300 and it is not sufficing, you should go back to analysis file, change the column dimension if you want a 20 mm or 25 mm bar. Then stirrup spacing, minimum spacing 75, 300, maximum stirrup spacing criteria of 4, 5, 6 is taken into consideration. Curtailment of reinforcement, bottom bars and top bars, where to curtail. You can specify the distances for curtailing top bars as well as bottom bars. In shear zones, ductile beam, we generally give the confining reinforcement up from 0 to 2 times the depth. You can change that factor to length factor also if you need. For beam detailing settings, you have to specify whether to take clear span as center to center or clear support face to face. You can choose that. And Anchorage length you can choose. Minimum bend size you can choose. For cantilevers, you can choose a back anchorage of same length or LD, whichever is greater if you want. Couplers. This option is for your detailed drawings and quantity. Now, in our code, they have specified, actually, they have specified for 16 or more, but generally, couplers can be our practical solution for 25 and above. For 16 or 20 still lap splices, lap lengths are being used. For 25 and 32 if you want to use mechanical couplers, just tick that option, and accordingly in your drawings it will be seen the coupler distances and marks. After the designing, you can group or ungroup beams. If similar beams are there, if you are getting the same steel for and are having similar span, you can definitely group the beams. After this, you can modify beam data. Sometimes for toilet portion, we are having sunken slabs and we are having downstand beams, or sometimes we are having inverted beams also for porch or something. So at that time, top of beam, you can enter here and continuity will be adjusted accordingly and detailing will be done accordingly. So also the column diameter by default is taken as 12 but if you want to specify 25 or 32, accordingly the detailing of beam will be done. In beam design output, this is again a file which can be extracted to Excel. In beam design output, you get 3 values, left, right, and mid at bottom. And for top also, you get 3 values, top left, top mid, top right. If you are doing a schedule which goes top throughout and extra over left and right, just keep it in mind that left reinforcement and right reinforcement, you have to you have to deduct the area which you have already provided throughout and then calculate the left and right bars. For detailing purpose, for output purpose, uh, RCDC has option of extra over also. Auto group option also is there. RCDC can automatically detect which beams are similar and it can auto group. If you want to modify the design, you can always go to that table, right click and say redesign. And in redesign, as you can see in bottom here, 312, 312 and afterwards 316 are needed. But if I want to change it to 316 throughout, you can click there and you can change the diameter. Then it will give you required was 335, but you have provided 604. Why this additional steel calculation? Provision. The joint check has to be taken accordingly. Generally, STAT takes the joint check as per the requirement, but not as per the provided. But here, if you are providing additional steel, then it has to be specified and update. The previous file has to be updated. Output of member forces. For each beam, you can have analysis forces. What are the basic load cases and their forces? like axial force, moment, and shear, as well as torsion, if any. And for combination, that is design, whatever load factors you have assigned, accordingly you will get the design forces. Both these tables you can check and verify. Design summary you will get in a very short format, where you get a flexure design, shear design, where you get the required as well as provided reinforcement. Clauses which have been followed in the design are clearly mentioned as per IS 456, which clauses are taken into consideration, and as per IS 13920, which clauses like PT max, PT min are different for 456 and 13920. So whichever is additional, sorry. Also, you get the output design detail calculations, where for each load case or for each load case or load combination, whatever worst combination you are having, that is reflected in your output, and you can get a detailed report of that. Also, the spacing criteria which RCDC has used, it will give you in the output calculation. Detail elevation and section drawings. This also can be automatically generated. In this, you can have the detail elevation of each and every frame or a typical frame. Also, the sections at your provided location or provided marks can be generated. All these files can be directly taken into your outputs. They are customizable and you can edit them as per your regular drawing style, but it saves a lot of time in drawings. And whenever you are having less number of drafters or helpers, this is a very good tool for initial estimation of the project. Within 1 or 2 days you can complete a building from footing to slab with the detailed drawings as well as estimate, RCC estimate, of course. And afterwards, after finalizing everything, you can again go back and do the detailed scheduling part. Two types of customized schedule of beams, as I said: top left, right, mid, bottom left, right, mid, or top straight, extra left, extra right, or bottom straight. And here in display style also you can group beams. Bar bending schedule. For each bar bending schedule, you'll also get a summary of the length of bar as well as the weight of the bar. So this is very useful for procurement. In bill of quantities, detailed bill of quantities or MB recording everything, you can choose the detail, main, links, space bars, or diameter wise quantity. After you have designed, it happens that some columns fail, some beams fail, and you change their sizes. So what happens with the original STAD file? In STAD file, the sizes are different, and in your design file, the sizes are different. So for that purpose, after your design completion, you have to go back to the main file page and say update analysis file. So when you update analysis file, then you will get a location where the analysis file is stored with a revision number. For the first updation, it will be R0. If you are doing any other revisions, it will be saved as R1, R2, and so on. Next is design of slab. For slab design also, you get so many levels as per your input file. Detection of all slabs, whether slabs, if you are modeling slabs as plate or not, still RCDC detects wherever there are slabs. All the enclosed portion are detected as slabs, and wherever you don't want any slab, like if you are having staircase or lift or a courtyard, you have to specify that portion as a cutout. So automatically, whether it depending upon the LY and LX, STAD will say it is a two-way, one-way. Also, you will see a end condition for two-way slabs, depending upon the continuity, short edge or long edge, it will provide a end condition. Next is top of slab. Here also, if we are having sunk, you have to specify that sunk in the mm, like minus 200, minus 300, or minus 450. Sometimes we may have a raise of slab, that also can be provided. And if we are having a sunk or raise, then automatically the continuity of slabs is affected. Accordingly, you have to check that continuity. Here, modified slab, if you have modified something, then whatever is modified, old was end span and now 4 edges discontinuous. That is displayed. You have to check that. Also, you can design all panels as non-continuous. Sometimes for small buildings, it happens that part of the building is constructed at one time and part is in the other time as per the budget of the building. So sometimes you have to take into consideration that even if you do not have continuity, your slab design is safe. In design settings, you have two options, either curtailed bar or bent up rebars. Preferred span to depth ratio as per IS 456. It is already by default taken, but if you want something else, you can specify. Also, you can specify a minimum thickness. By default, RCDC takes 100 mm. If you want to specify something else, you can specify, but cannot specify below 100 mm. This is the slab schedule you get when you auto design the slabs. Continuous ends, distribution steel, and this is general arrangement plan. I don't know whether you are able to see or not, but in each slab panel, the slab thickness also is mentioned, slab number is mentioned, and if you want to have the beams, beam number also is mentioned in the same general arrangement plan. In plan detailing of bent up bars also can be taken. I have taken a small portion to show you the in-plan detailing, but you can have this in-plan detailing and release it for the fitter purpose. You can have the section of a critical slab showing the bent up bars or the continuity of the bars in the interior or continuous spans. Next is staircase. Staircase is not actually designed in RCDC, but you can draw a section and as per the end conditions, you can have the beams located at the end of span or at the end of going, as well as beam orientation, downstand. One may be downstand, other may be upstand. That you can say. You can have this staircase section with you, but that thickness you'll have to verify manually, because many a times here you may not get the thickness more than 150. Next is bill of quantities of slab. Here also you are getting a shuttering quantity as well as concrete and steel quantity. In BOQ, if you specify the correct rate as per DSR, you will get the correct value of that element. Bar bending schedule of slab also you'll get, and you can take it to AutoCAD. Finally, after the all design is complete, what all you get, which drawings you get, all the layout drawings with the grids marked in it, with the center line distances marked in it. You can get detailed elevation, cross section, general arrangement plans, in plan details if you want. In plan details are only there for slab and footing and not for column and beam. Not possible. It then text schedules which can be extracted in Excel. Fabrication detailing, bar bending schedule you are getting. Text reports which you have to submit for proof checking or vetting. That is detailed design calculation, design summary, bill of quantities, and other forces or pressure checks, whatever you need, you will get in the output.